What's up, people? Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today, I am pretty much profiling the deck that I've been pretty much using as my main deck against all opposition for the last several months. As you guys know, my favorite archetype is the Lightsworn archetype. I've been using that. I was using that main archetype as my main deck for a good several years, almost a decade. But just recently I decided to change it up and try a different archetype as my main deck, and I've been using this for the past several months, and I must say, I am very, very impressed with the results that I'm getting with this deck. This has beaten meta decks, it's beaten casual decks, it's also beaten low and mid tier decks as well. So without further ado, let's not waste time. Let's get started. So basically, let's get started with the Gladiator Beast deck profile. So I am using Free Liguori. You have to run free in Gladiator Beast. This is one of your big beat sticks of the deck. One of the big key factor about Gladiator Beast is basically if they attack or are attacked after the battle phase, you shuffle a Gladiator Beast into your deck and summon another one. And when said Gladiator Beast is summoned by the effect of the previous Gladiator Beast, that new Gladiator Beast's effect will be unlocked. It's basically what I like to call the key, the unlocking with the key mechanic. It's pretty much a different way to special summon, just like how there's a different way to special summon with Gemini. I mean, I know both mechanics aren't identical or similar, but there's just factors between the Gladiator Beast's main mechanic themselves and how the Gemini mechanic works separately with its own self. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, this is Liguori, big beat stick. When it's summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, it'll pump itself up to 2100. It's a really, really good beater to get over pesky cards that just want to get in your way. It's very good. Next up, free copies of Bestiari. This is you gotta run him at free too. Him and Liguori go hand in hand. They're basically your two trump cards of the deck. Bestiari here, when he's summoned by the effect of a Gladiator monster, you can destroy a spell or trap card. That's really good because for the spells and traps themselves that are in the deck, Gladiator Beasts don't have back removal, so Bestiari is basically your correction for that. Other than that, he does nothing else, just a back row popper. Next up, free copies of Gladiator Beast Vesparis. Now, this is one of the newer ones that came out of Chaos Impact a little while back. And basically, what this guy does is when he is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, all Gladiator Beast monsters I control gain 500 attack, and also at the start of damage step, if your Gladiator Beast monster battles a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. But you can only use that effect once per turn, though. It's a hard once per turn, so you just can't go boom, boom, boom. Doesn't work like that. It's not like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Where basically a card says once per turn, but it basically specifically means once per turn per copy. It is once per turn, period. That's just how the new once per turn clause works now. But back in the olden days, most cards that had once per turns on them was once per turn per copy. Remember that. Next up, we have Gladiator Beast Sagittarius. This is your draw power of the deck. And what he does is, if he's summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you can discard a Gladiator Beast card, then draw 2 cards from your deck. He's pretty much pot of greed, basically. But basically a pot of greed that's really good. Because I can just send any Gladiator Beast monster from my hand to the graveyard, or a Gladiator Beast card they don't need, like a spell or trap, and I just draw 2 cards. It's that simple. Next up, Gladiator Beast of Taurus. This is pretty much the replacement for using Elemental Hero Prisma in Gladiator Beast. Yes, that was a thing back in the day. You would use Prisma back in the day just to get into your fusions. But this thing pretty much replaces that. So if this is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you could send one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, except for itself. Until the end phase, this card's level and name becomes the same as that monster sent to the graveyard. So basically, it can just take the name of whatever you throw in there. It's as simple as that. This way you can get into your fusions a bit better. Next up, one Myrmelio. I don't really need to explain this one. Basically, when it's summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you get to just pop a monster. Gladiator Beast Sector, even after this thing is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, how this works is a little different from all the others. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster at the end of any battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck except for itself. So you gotta pretty much protect this thing at all costs. It's like playing Protect the Castle in Ancient Gear. Next up, one Gladiator Beast Equest. Now, Equest is one of the older Gladiator Beast cards. So if he's special summoned by the effect of Gladiator Beast monster, I get to pretty much add a Gladiator Beast card from my graveyard to my hand. Simple as that. Next up, 2 copies of Darius. Basically, when he is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, I get to resurrect a Gladiator Beast from my graveyard. So essentially, I got Monster Reborn. Oh, and that's right, we have another request there. I must have missed that one by accident. Okay, next up, we're moving to the spells. So basically, for the spell cards, we have... I forgot to sort out the spells beforehand. I apologize. So what we have over here is we pretty much have not 1, but 3 Gladiator Beast Proving Grounds. Basically, this is just the search for a level 4, I believe it's level 4 or lower. No, yeah, level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to your end. So this is your searcher here. Here's Indomitable Gladiator Beast. Now, this here is one of the most abusable cards in a Gladiator Beast deck. Not very many people run this anymore, but essentially what this does is when you activate it, you can give a Gladiator Beast monster, I believe it's 500 attack, I believe? Yeah, 500 attack. And then, when it's in the graveyard, it has another effect. You can activate it to shuffle 2 of your other Gladiator Beast cards in your graveyard back into your deck, and then you get to re-add this card to your hand. So basically, if you have a whole bunch of Gladiator Beast cards in your graveyard, you can just keep going and going and going. It's an infinite loop. Next up, we have here, and this is like one of my favorite cards in this new deck. I am running 2 copies of Gladiator Rejection. Now, Rejection, essentially, it's a continuous spell card, but it's really simple. Basically, first effect, it prevents Gladiator Beast monsters I control from being targeted by my opponent's card effects. And by the way, this is except during the battle phase. If a Gladiator Beast monster or monsters is special summoned from the main deck, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Gladiator Beast monster from your deck with a different type than from the monsters you control in defense position. So say for example, Gladiator Beast effect goes off for Liguori, I shuffle him, I summon Bestiari, I have to summon another monster with rejection that is not Bestiari, essentially. That's pretty much how simple that is. Next up, more draw power for the Gladiator Beast deck. Just loads and loads of draw power. So we're running 3 Gladiator Beasts for Sprite. So what Sprite does is I return 2 Gladiator Beast cards from my hand into my deck to draw 3 cards. It's basically for Gladiator Beasts exclusively a reverse Graceful Charity. Yeah. Yeah, explain to me how that works. A reverse Graceful Charity. Enough said right there. Enough said right there. Next up, I am running 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Comeback. This card allows me to special summon a Gladiator Beast from my hand or graveyard with a different type than from the monsters I control, and it cannot be destroyed by battle permanently. So I can just bring either a fusion or one of my normal Gladiator Beasts out with this card, and it gets pretty much immunity from battle instantly. Next up, I'm running 1 copy of Gladiator's Return, and what this does is I return 3 Gladiator Beast monsters from my graveyard to the deck, and then I draw 1 card. So it's just more recycling and more drawing because you have to have a lot of things in your hand. Next up, I'm running 2 Gladiator Beast United. This card right here is the fusion spell of the deck. Basically, it only works during the battle phase, and it allows me to pretty much perform a contact fusion on either my turn or my opponent's turn. Simply, I just shuffle 2 Gladiator Beast monsters I control into the deck, just summon a corresponding fusion monster to those materials, essentially. That's pretty much what I do. Enough said there. And then my favorite spell, Gladiator Beast Battlemantia. So Battlemantia, what this guy does is essentially while equipped it prevents my Gladiator Beast monster from being destroyed by battle. But if my Gladiator Beast is shuffled back into the deck while equipped to this, and this goes to the graveyard, I can return Battlemantia to my hand. So Battlemantia is never really dead. It's pretty much live constantly. And then we have the trap lineup here. 2 War Chariot and 2 Wabaku. I had to balance both of them out. Wabaku, you all pretty much know what this does. It's an old school trap card that's existed since the dawn of time. War Chariot is basically it's pretty much a monster effect negator for Gladiator Beasts. So that's pretty much the Gladiator Beast deck in a nutshell here. So now we get to the extra deck. So right here we got 3 copies of Gladiator Beast Gyzaris. So essentially, when this guy is summoned, I can pretty much blow up 2 cards on the field. And his effect is not a hard once per turn effect. I can use this effect as much as I want as long as I keep summoning him. So I can just keep blowing up back row if I can form a loop around this guy. And plus, he's got really good attack as well. And plus, when at the end of the battle phase, if he is attacked, just like all of them, I can shuffle it into the deck in order to summon 2 Gladiator Beasts. So essentially, you get another fusion right away. So next up, we get to the new guy on the block. Gladiator Beast Tamer Editor. This guy came out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Now, this guy is a really interesting fusion. Very interesting. Essentially, what he does is, once per turn, I can special summon a Gladiator Beast fusion from my extra deck, except for himself, ignoring summoning conditions. So essentially, I activate him. I can't summon himself, so I just can't go Tamer Editor, Tamer Editor, Tamer Editor. then summon, a Geysaris, or the next monster I'm planning to show you guys in a second. I have to pretty much go through Tamer Editor, then summon another one. Another Gladiator Beast that's not Tamer Editor, that is. Next up, Gladiator Beast Stomatitis. Now, if this guy plus Gladiator Beast Herculenos is on board, and Tamer Editor, there's no way the opponent's going to win. I've actually locked my opponent down on a couple of occasions using a face-up Stomatitis and a face-up Herculenos. So that's pretty much, so it's a really good combo. It is a really nice combo. And I happen to have it run free Stomatitis actually, because it's so good. It's a really good card. And then you got the one Herculenos. It's one of the oldest fusions Gladiator Beasts have. It's a very good spell and trap negator. It's awesome. It really is. And then you got the one Neocrus. I wouldn't say it's an old Gladiator Beast card, but the thing is though, it's a really good beat stick. That's mainly all it's there for. Is essentially it can't be destroyed by battle. And essentially, if this card attacks or is attacked, the opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So all it is just a giant, massive wall that you have to get over. That's pretty much all it is. Then we have here my second Neocrus, because I forgot that I was running two. Then we have the Link monsters. Gladiator Beast, Dragasses. And what he does is basically, if a Gladiator Beast monster I control attacks, it cannot be destroyed by that battle. Also, my opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. This includes Dragasses himself. And essentially, that's pretty. And just like most of the extra monsters, if he is battled, I can return this card to the extra deck to summon two Gladiator Beasts with different names. So, and I run at least a good amount of these. I run two of those and two Test Panthers. The Test Panther, what he does is, basically, he needs two monsters involving a Gladiator Beast monster. And if he's Link Summon, I can add any Gladiator Beast card from my deck to my hand. And I can also target a Gladiator Beast monster I control, shuffle it into the deck, and if I do, special summon a Gladiator Beast monster with a different original name from the deck. And it is treated as being summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster. So this guy is essentially a better Test Tiger. A much better Test Tiger. And with that, people, that is the Gladiator Beast deck profile. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I've been having a lot of fun with this build for a long time. I only plan to make slight modifications going forward unless Konami releases new Gladiator Beast support. But we'll see. But we will see and find out. But anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and until next time, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later. Thank you for watching.